Yeah, Sean, a temporary ban on evictions in Ontario will expire next week, and the Ford government has voted against extending it. Advocates and opposition leaders are fighting the move they say will leave thousands of tenants vulnerable during a health crisis.
This notice just came today, the notice to vacate.
Jeffrey Riome is on disability, and during the pandemic, he fell behind on paying his rent. Today, he was told he has to vacate his apartment in less than a month.
It's not right. I thought that I had more time, and right when the freeze was over, I was told that it was over.
Evictions have been on hold in Ontario since January 14th, but have now resumed in the 27 regions where stay-at-home orders have been lifted, and will resume in Toronto, Peel, and York on Monday.
It is not safe to force folks to find shelter, to couch surf with friends and family, or to be forced to live on the streets in the middle of a pandemic.
Today, the Ford government voted against an NDP bill to extend the temporary ban on evictions until 1 year after the pandemic is declared over by the Chief Medical Officer of Health.
When people lose their homes, they cannot self-isolate.
A bill they say could have saved tens of thousands of working-class families from eviction.
And yet this Premier, after just a couple of weeks of having an eviction ban in place, has lifted the eviction ban so that he's going to push people onto the streets. He's going to push people into couch surfing when everybody knows that that's the wrong thing to do.
We've stood up for tenants. We've provided actually over $500 million to our municipal partners to help keep our most vulnerable housed, and we'll continue to support them.
Advocates say the advice from the government is inadequate and unrealistic.
That tenants should somehow work something out with their landlord, agree to some kind of repayment plan.
And in fact, they say the opposite is happening.
We've seen a rise in the number of tenants being evicted compared to the same period of time last year.
In the meantime, tenants like Riome are struggling to find alternative, affordable places to live.
It's sad. There's not a lot of help for people.
1 in 10 Ontario tenants is behind on paying rent, and that's double the national average, according to the Canada Housing and Mortgage Corporation. And advocates say it's important to note that while evictions have been banned, landlords have still been issuing eviction notices, and hearings have still been taking place, so that will all speed up the process once the ban is lifted next week.